The doctor's words echoed in the silent hospital room, "Your daughter will never walk." The millionaire standing beside the hospital bed felt his world collapse in a single moment. His little girl, Lily, only 6 months old, lay quietly in the crib, unaware that her future had just been written by someone else. Her father, Daniel Carter, one of Canada's most successful tech entrepreneurs, had built companies, signed million-dollar deals, and solved problems that seemed impossible. But now he stood helpless, staring at the tiny legs that doctors said would never carry his daughter even a single step. Years passed, and Lily grew up in a mansion overlooking the snowy hills of Vancouver. She was bright, curious, and full of life, but her wheelchair followed her everywhere. Daniel spent fortunes searching for treatments. The best specialists from Toronto, New York, and London examined her. They ran tests, offered therapies, and tried experimental programs. Each time, Daniel waited with hope burning in his chest. Each time, the answer returned the same. Nothing changed. Lily never complained, but Daniel often caught her watching other children outside the mansion gates. In winter they built snowmen and slid across the icy sidewalks. In summer they raced their bicycles down the quiet street. Lily would smile, but her eyes always lingered a little too long. Daniel's heart broke every time. Because he worked constantly, Daniel hired many caregivers to help raise Lily. Some were kind, others professional, but none stayed very long. Caring for a child with special needs required patience most people did not have. Then one autumn morning, a quiet young woman named Maria arrived at the mansion for an interview. Maria wasn't like the other applicants. She wore simple clothes, spoke softly, and didn't seem intimidated by Daniel's wealth or the enormous house. Instead of focusing on medical reports or Lily's condition, she asked a simple question. "What does Lily love to do?" Daniel paused. No doctor had ever asked that before. "She loves stories," he said slowly. "And music. And watching people dance." Maria smiled warmly. "Then maybe we should start there." Daniel hired her the same day. At first, Maria seemed ordinary. She read stories to Lily, played gentle piano melodies in the living room, and spent hours talking with her about dreams and adventures. But she also did something unusual. Instead of treating Lily like a fragile patient, she treated her like any other child. One evening, Daniel returned from work and heard laughter echoing through the house. Curious, he followed the sound to the large living room. Lily sat in her wheelchair, clapping her hands while Maria spun slowly across the floor to the rhythm of soft music. "What's going on here?" Daniel asked. Maria stopped and smiled. "We're dancing." Daniel looked confused. "But Lily can't." "I know," Maria interrupted gently. "But that doesn't mean she can't feel the music." From that day on, dancing became part of their routine. Maria would hold Lily's hands and move gently with her. Sometimes she lifted Lily slightly, letting her feel the motion of standing for a moment. Other times they simply swayed together while music played. Daniel watched from a distance, unsure if this was hope or just imagination. Weeks turned into months. One cold winter afternoon, something unexpected happened. Maria had helped Lily stand briefly, as she often did during their dance practice. Normally Lily's legs would remain completely still. But this time, Maria felt a tiny movement. At first she thought it was nothing. Maybe just balance shifting. Then Lily's right foot trembled. "Lily, did you feel that?" Maria whispered. Lily's eyes widened. I moved." Maria's heart began pounding. She carefully supported Lily and encouraged her again. "Try once more." Slowly, painfully, Lily's foot moved forward an inch. Maria could barely believe it. That evening when Daniel returned home, Maria met him at the door with tears in her eyes. "Daniel," she said breathlessly. "You need to see this." Inside the living room, Lily stood between two chairs, holding them tightly for support. Her legs trembled, and fear mixed with determination on her face. "Daddy," she whispered. Daniel froze. "Watch." With enormous effort, Lily lifted one foot and placed it in front of the other. One step. Daniel's knees nearly gave out as tears streamed down his face. For the first time in her life, his daughter had walked. Doctors were shocked when they later examined Lily. They explained that her condition wasn't completely irreversible as previously believed. Her muscles had simply never been trained to respond properly. Years of careful movement, balance, and encouragement had slowly awakened connections that medicine alone had missed. But Daniel knew the truth. It wasn't machines, money, or famous specialists that changed everything. It was Maria's belief. Months later, Lily walked across the stage at a small school event, taking slow but confident steps while the audience cheered. Daniel stood in the back of the room, remembering the moment when doctors had told him his daughter would never walk. Sometimes the world's greatest miracles don't come from power or wealth. They come from someone who refuses to accept limits, and believes in a child just enough to help them take their very first step.